Hey everybody, I am hoping you guys can hear me. If you can, I got my phone out. Text me so I can know that you guys can hear me okay. For those who tuned in last week, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. I was traveling last week. I was actually in the hotel doing the video and it cut off. Like I did it from my tablet and it just cut off. I couldn't get a good internet connection. It was just a lot going on, but I did not want to make any excuses as to why I couldn't do the video. So I took the liberty of still showing up for you guys. So again, I appreciate the support. I appreciate you guys engaging with me last week. And matter of fact, it was a good bit of you on, and I saw that a good bit of you watched the replay. So thank you so much. As you can see, I'm back in the comfort of my own home this weekend. This week, so I don't have any technical issues or anything like that. But I want to make sure that you guys can hear me. So I'm just looking at my phone to make sure that I'm not getting any text messages or anything where you guys saying, Demetra, I can't hear you. So just making sure that we're all good in that area. And I'm hoping you guys invited some new people to watch this week. And I'm checking one more thing, just making sure everybody can hear and we're good in that area. I don't want any mishaps or anything like that. So but nevertheless, I am excited for each and every one of you who's on tonight. And I hope you guys are inviting people. I see the hearts now. I'm trying to watch it from my phone because I have some new software, so I'm not really sure how to watch Facebook and the software. So I had to look on my phone to see who's there. Well, Taria, thank you for tuning in. I'm glad you can hear me. So again, I'm just excited to be on and be at my house this weekend. And so let me start by giving you guys an introduction into who I am and what I do. My name is Demetra Moore. I am the owner of More Out of Life. And More Out of Life is a professional development company who specializes in interpersonal skills and soft skills training. We also do consulting in regards to hosting corporate training events for you. And we also offer one-on-one and group coaching sessions, as well as webinars and seminars and things of that nature if you're looking to work on your professional development skills. So if you know of anybody who is looking to do some of those things, definitely share this video, invite them to come out and see what we're talking about tonight. Each Thursday we're here at 7:30, and we are here sharing information in regards to how you can utilize interpersonal skills or soft skills, whichever you choose to call them, to enhance your team at your job. And typically we get a lot of small business owners or people who are in leadership roles who are watching this video. So if you know of anybody who any of this information can help them, definitely share this video. I welcome them to come out tonight virtually to watch and join me. And there's one thing I want to put out there is that I want this to not necessarily be a presentation, but somewhat of a conversation. I'd like to know what you think. So if there's any comments or questions that you have, please don't hesitate to put those in the comments. If I am able to get to them while I'm actually doing the video, I'll do that. If I need to get back to you after the video, I have no problem doing that either. And if there's something that you want to talk to me offline about, don't hesitate to inbox me, and we can definitely set up an appointment to kind of, for me to take some time to answer your questions. So I wanted to get that out the way, but I am excited to be on tonight to be talking about a new topic. And as you know, we go on for a month with different topics and takeaways and things of that nature that you can utilize to start working with your team or start sharing with your sometimes people hire consultants or whomever, but whomever you're working with in regards to a leadership role or a small business owner, or maybe you're up and coming manager. Today, our topic will be critical thinking. Now, some of us take that for granted. We're like, oh yeah, I think critically all the time, or, I'm really, some people will say I'm not a good critical thinker. So I'm not sure where any of you guys are in regards to critical thinking, but I welcome you to put your thoughts in the comments. I have my cell phone beside me so I can see what you're saying. And again, I'm just excited to talk about that topic because it's something that is very sought after nowadays in regards to positioning yourself for a job, or even position yourself to own a business, or just to position yourself in a different place. Maybe you're not sure if you want to be that business owner, but you're currently working a job. Or maybe you're not sure how far you're going to go in regards to leadership. Critical thinking is definitely necessary. So let me give you an example, and matter of fact, not an example, definition, so you can understand what critical thinking is and what employers are looking for. And that way, I think that'll put us all on the same page so we can make sure we're speaking the same language, which is another soft skill, is effective communication. So if I'm going to talk about soft skills, I need to make sure that I'm actually walking the talk. So critical thinking skills is pretty much one of the most sought after skill sets that employers are looking for right now. They look for those in all industries, and critical thinking refers to the ability to be objective, to analyze and make reasoned judgment. Now, I'm curious as to what that means to some of you guys who are watching tonight, because I know we've seen some different things in the workplace that may have not been so objective, or may not have been what we deem to be reasoned judgment. So I'm curious as to what you think. And if you have some comments, definitely put them out there, because I'm curious as to what you think about that. But that's the definition of critical thinking. And that is something, again, that I've read about 70% of employers are looking for that. So let me go ahead and just give you some additional information so you can understand why it's so important. Now, for those who have college degrees and things of that nature, if you like to, put that in the comments, say, hey, I have, X degree, or I own a business, or I'm a member of management or whatnot, feel free to put that in there, because a lot of these topics and numbers and things of this sort tonight will apply to maybe some of the things that you're dealing with in regards to critical thinking skills with the team that you're managing. So here's a really, really good number, and it's 49% of employees are rated. Now, I want you to get your pen so you can write this down, because this was so mind-blowing to me. 49% of employers say that their employees' critical thinking skills are what? Do you think they're excellent? What do you think? I'm curious. And so if you don't mind putting that in the comments, I'll tell you what the answer is, but I'm really curious as to what you think employers believe about their employers believe about their employees' ability to think critically. So, okay, let me go ahead and tell you. 49% of employers believe that their employees' ability to think critically is only average, that most of them are below average. Now, when I was reading the studies about this, because I think it's really insightful to understand how impactful those skill sets are for your workplace and for your team to be successful, or for your business to continue to thrive in the place that it is. The interesting fact is that it's not related to your degrees or your certifications or your years of experience or anything like that, because only 28% of employers say that their 4-year graduates have excellent critical thinking skills. So, because critical thinking skills aren't necessarily taught in the collegiate level. And I say that because I've been at several colleges doing professional development training and talking about these very things. So a lot of them are not even taught. So when you start thinking about that, I mean, really think about it. How many people have degrees, or how many people are going back to school? And not saying that that's right or wrong, but what I'm saying is critical thinking skills and other soft skills aren't typically taught. That's why they're so sought after in the job market. That's why it makes things so competitive when people are looking for jobs, because a lot of people lack those skills. But primarily we work on the hard skills, which is, I mean, for example, I use IT, the coding, and, learning how to utilize the software, but not necessarily how to engage with people, not necessarily how to step outside the box to do something different. So that's why critical thinking is one of the most sought after soft skills. So think about that for a second. 28%, and so many people are graduating every year with degrees. They have the 4.0s, they were summa cum laude, whatever, but only 28% of employers say that their 4-year college graduates have the ability to think critically. So for me, that was another staggering statistic. And it was just mind-blowing, again, to me, because I see how many people are looking for jobs every day. I meet a lot of college students who are looking to reposition themselves, and sometimes they just don't have the people skills to necessarily position themselves in the jobs that they want. So I want to break down critical thinking so you can maybe get some more insight in regards to how it applies to you, how you could possibly be better at it if you're in a leadership role or something of that nature. So the first one is you have to be analytical. Now, I can talk about analytical because that's the way I think. Like sometimes I get caught up in reading numbers and studies, and then sometimes I'm not able to convey it because I'm so excited about the numbers, and they don't necessarily mean anything to anybody else. So there's people who are very analytical people, and then you have the people that are creative people. But to be a great critical thinker, you have to be able to turn on your analytical hat. And part of that is pretty much examining all of the information and understanding what it means and what it represents. So let me go a little bit further in that with you. You ever seen where someone have shown you maybe a chart or a graph and you're like, oh, that looks great. Or maybe they showed you an infographic or something and you're like, oh, that number is great. Or yeah, that's a lot of change, but it wasn't broken down into a place where it hit home. And you know what? I have an example, and I can't remember the exact number, but I was listening to Steve Jobs do a presentation on the iPhone. And of course, it was one of the older ones where it talked about where the iPhone, that, how many songs they could download from iTunes onto the iPhone. So, this was a long time ago, but he was like, it was millions of songs. So millions sounds like, wow, that's a lot of songs. But he even went as far as breaking it down into how many songs were downloaded on an average per day. Now, doesn't that make more sense than telling you millions of songs? So, when you can think critically, you have a way of presenting information, which leads me to another point, is how you communicate the information. Because often you'll get all this data and then you can't clearly articulate it to anyone else. And you're so excited about it, but no one understands what it means but you. So if you can relate to that, definitely put a comment out there, because I'm curious as to how many people get caught up in that. And I can be transparent. That actually is still me. I'm working on that. I'm a work in progress. But I get caught up in the numbers and statistics, and I'm so excited about it. Sometimes I'll take it and run with it. And most people don't really understand what the numbers mean or what the data means. So to be another thing that you'll need to do, another skill set that you'll need to work on to be a better critical thinker, is your way that you communicate with people. And that may be written or oral, but you have to be able to put your findings in a way that everybody who is affected by the decision or the upcoming project can clearly understand what you're saying. So Another thing is being able to, if you do graphs, that's great, but infographics are great, but you have to make sure the numbers are in a digestible format so people can say, oh, that really hit home, or, oh, I totally understand what you're saying, because these big numbers and these bold statements mean nothing to most people. So be sure that you're able to communicate in layman's terms. That's very, 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 very important. And the other thing is being creative. Now, again, you're probably thinking being creative and being analytical really can't live in the same space. Well, you can, because creativity takes you outside the box. So you have to be able to see things beyond where they are. So, and being critical allows you to have that because you get to challenge things. So creativity is pretty much saying, okay, we've always done this. Why have we done this way? What is another way that we can do this? Have you thought about trying, this way? Or just making sure that you can think outside of the normal the normal routine. And most people that I work with when partnering with organizations is that they're caught up in the mundane routine of work. So the processes have been the same way always, but nobody can tell you why. Right? They just know this is the way to do it. And something that I know that I always question, if somebody tells me to do something and they're just like, do it this way, I want to know why I have to do it this way. I want to know everything about it, because here's something else. If you can't think outside the box, if the steps get messed up, you can no longer do the process. So make sure that you're able to, of course, analyze everything. You're able to communicate your questions, and you're able to think outside of the box, because it may be a process or something that you're trying to implement in your business or with your team. And if you could just see it just a little differently, you never know how much money it could save your organization. You never know how much money it could save you in regards to your time that you're spending to work on the process. So just think about seeing beyond where you are and looking at things from a different perspective. You'll be amazed at how much time that critical thinking can save you. And another one is just being open-minded. You got to be open-minded to doing something beyond the regular daily routine that you do, because we make assumptions. It's always been that way. Or, we simply take people's ideas and we hear them, but we don't necessarily apply them. So you have to be objective when evaluating ideas. And one of the most important things is you can't be biased. So when you're working with your team, regardless to, you may think, oh, this person's not as, maybe they have a different strong suit in regards to skill sets than someone else. That has nothing to do with the idea or suggestion that they made. So always be sure to remove the bias so you can be open-minded and really appreciate the value that the person is bringing to your team. So be open-minded. And another skill set is just problem solving. It allows you to analyze the problem. Now, here's where a lot of people get caught up, because sometimes when you're attached to something in the workplace, your emotions cloud your judgment, and you're not really able to come up with a solution for the problem. So when you're problem solving, be sure, and I said this at the beginning, is to remove your emotion from it. And that could be difficult or maybe a challenge sometimes, depending on what the problem is or how you feel personally in regards to that. So I would just say, really sit down with your team and think about how you envision this and really discuss it, if it's something that you can discuss with your team. If not, maybe there's a colleague or something that you can really work with this on. But after all, companies want people who are able to think for themselves outside of the box, come up with ideas that can really grow the organization. So I'm going to check and see if there's any questions out there. I see you guys watching. Hi Skip, hi Benita, hi Taria, and thank you guys for watching. So I had to look at my phone. I told you guys I'm not really sure how to look at Facebook and do the recording, but I got some takeaways for you in regards to critical thinking. So if you have your notepad, definitely write these down. It is a takeaway that I think everybody can implement. And to think critically, you want to think red. And you're probably thinking, Demetra, what in the world is red? Well, write this down now. The first letter in red stands for recognize assumptions. So think about that. How many times we've made assumptions about things people have said in the workplace, or things that maybe somebody made an assumption about what we said. But make sure that you recognize assumptions and you evaluate arguments. And I'm hoping when you evaluate the argument, you're doing it without emotion. And the last one is draw conclusions. And to do those, you have to be able to, again, analyze, communicate, be open-minded, and be able to problem solve. So let me reiterate the acronym. Well, the word is RED, and it's an acronym. It stands for recognize assumptions, evaluate arguments, and draw conclusions. So if you guys have any questions, definitely put them in the comments, and I will get to them. And if you need to inbox me, don't hesitate to do that. I'll definitely get back with you. And invite somebody to tune in next week. I'm here every Thursday at 7:30. Now, I'm not traveling. Oh, next week is Thanksgiving. So maybe, no, actually I'll be out of town, so I won't be on, I don't think. But if I am, I'll send a reminder to you guys. So join the More Out of Life Academy group if you're not already a member. You will see reminders there of when I'm going to be on, what the topics will be, and things of that nature. And again, I just appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm so excited that you guys have continued to support me. I think I've been doing this for about 3 years. It started off as a call, but then I was pushed to come on video simply because people were like, hey, we want to be more engaging. So that's why the Facebook Live started. So share this information. Let everybody know it's every Thursday at 7:30. And there, again, go to the More Out of Life Academy group. Join there. You'll see the reminders about this live. And invite someone who you know that may be a small business owner, someone who may be in a leadership role, who needs some information or takeaways or something they can utilize on their team. And again, for those who joined that I may not know who you are, again, my name is Demetra Moore. I am the owner of More Out of Life. And More Out of Life is a professional development firm who specializes in soft skills and interpersonal skills. I'm a corporate trainer. I go out and I partner with organizations to train their employees, and we also offer group and one-on-one coaching for those who are looking to work on their professional development to reposition themselves in their lives. So that's pretty much just about me. I again appreciate you guys coming on tonight, and you guys enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will speak with you later. Good night.